everybody. Welcome to our week number 6 Twitch live stream. I see a bunch of you logged in, which is fantastic. It looks like everything is going clearly, like the volume, the video, and everything. Let me know if something isn't correct in the chat. But it is nice to get a chance to connect with you. Last week we were interrupted by a fire, by a power outage, by, post-election stuff. It was definitely a little bit of a whirlwind last week. So I hope everyone is safe. I hope that everyone is doing okay with all of those things. And also the point that we're at in the semester. We're mid-November, and this is always a little bit of a challenging time. So I hope everyone is doing well and taking care of yourselves. I'm glad, again, that we get to do this today, and I'm sorry that we weren't able to do it last week, but there was no power, which definitely made the internet pretty impossible. So we are in week number 6. I want to take you over to Canvas and we'll talk about what we have going on this week. And I can kind of highlight last week as well, since we weren't able to meet last week. But if you scroll down, we're right here. So we're getting close to the end of our class. Our class ends on December 6th. Just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind as we get a little bit closer. But let's take a look at just last week and this week and everything that we have going on at the moment. So in terms of our class, last week was chapters 9 and 10 and discussions 9 and 10. So if you haven't done the materials from last week, obviously make sure to do that. Everything from this week and last week is due by this Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So for last week, you need to read those 2 chapters and do those 2 discussions. There's also a little short self-assessment, and you took one of these before, but it's just an opportunity to kind of check in after that last exam with how you're doing in the class, where your grade is at, and if there's anything that you need or want to change moving forward. So make sure to do all of the week 5 materials if you haven't already. We obviously didn't have a live stream last week, but I did post the extra credit question in an announcement where I canceled the live stream, and you can still go back and do that anytime before this Sunday night. So since we're now in week 6, I want to focus on this week's content and materials. If you have any questions about last week, of course, feel free to put them in the chat, and I would be more than happy to answer them. Otherwise, we'll look at week number 6, which is where we currently are. And this week we're looking at chapters 11 and 12, so human development and personality, 2 very core topics to psychology. As always, you're going to want to do 3 things with those chapters. You want to read the chapter in the ebook, read through my lecture, and watch the lecture video. And click on everything, explore all the links, watch any videos that are in there. All of that together is going to help you with understanding the materials. You also have 2 discussions and an exam this week. So let's go ahead and take a look at those materials together. Let's look at discussion 11. And as always, you have my instructions and then my video. Hopefully you kind of gotten in the habit and the routine of all of this by now. So for this one, you're listening to 2 songs about being a teenager. And if you're not a big country fan, this might be your country fix for the year. I like country music. If you had told me 10 years ago I'd like country music, I would have laughed at you, but I'm a fan now. But there are 2 songs linked right here about being a teenager. And then you're also going to look at greeting cards. So you can go to any store that sells them: Hallmark, Target, Walmart, the grocery store, CVS. If you're not comfortable going out, you're also welcome to look these up online. But you're going to look at some cards and examine the messages they have toward turning 30, 40, and 50, and then 60, 70, 80, and aging in general. So after you've listened to the songs and you've looked at some field work and looked at the cards that you found, you're going to answer these questions. So how do the 2 songs, 15 and Letter to Me, incorporate or demonstrate some of the cognitive, social, and physical milestones or developmental focuses of being a teenager? I want you to be really specific. This is where people tend to lose points. I'm looking to see that you can take a lyric from the song, from each of the songs, and connect it to something in the chapter. It's something in the lecture or in the chapter, and really kind of connect those dots. Give me specific examples. Show me that you can make that connection. That's definitely where people sometimes lose points. So make sure that you're really making those connections and giving me lots of details and information. Then you're going to look at the greeting cards. What were some messages, tones, and focuses of the greeting cards that you looked at? What were some of the attitudes and stereotypes that you observed related to getting older and to aging? And then finally, if you had to personally be stuck at one age for the rest of your life, what age would you pick and why? And obviously just for fun, but it's kind of an interesting, fun thing to think about. And then if you have the ability or desire, you're welcome to upload images of your cards or videos of your cards. Totally optional, but sometimes it's kind of fun to see what you're looking at. But make sure that you really elaborate in your responses. Again, link the materials from the songs to those in the book and in the chapter. Same with the tones and the greeting cards. Don't forget to also reply to a classmate to get those full points for doing that. And then if you look at the next discussion, discussion number 12, this one will be on personality. And again, as always, you have my instructions and my video. So this one, you're going to be answering a couple of questions related to your personality and then taking a quiz and kind of reflecting on and thinking about that. So number one, if you had to describe what has made you the person you are today, in other words, what are some things that have shaped your personality, what would the key contributors be? I want you to share a minimum of 2 factors that you feel have heavily contributed to your personality and explain how they've contributed. So this could be biology and genetics. It could be an event. It could be something with how you were raised. It could be people that were in your life. It can be anything that you feel like has contributed drastically to the person that you are today. And then make sure you describe how and why. In the spirit of the trait perspective, I want you to describe yourself in 5 words. If someone asked you to describe yourself in 5 words, which 5 words would you use? And then I want you to ask 2 different people in your life who know you fairly well to describe you in 5 words. Ask people who know you in different roles. So ask like a family member, a partner, a parent, a sibling, a friend, a coworker, a teacher, whatever, someone who knows you well. And what words would they use? Were they similar? Were they different? What are your reactions and thoughts? And then you're going to take a personality quiz. It can be any of these ones here, or if you find a really cool other one, that's totally fine with me as well. And you're going to describe the quiz that you took, maybe give me your results, what was that like? And then comment on the results. Are they valid? Are they reliable? Are they good? Or is it just for fun? Kind of reflecting on all of that. And then also don't forget to reply to a classmate to get those 2 points for doing that. Finally, we also have exam number 3 this week because it's an even week. Your study guide for exam 3 is right here. If you click on that, remember that the study guide will tell you everything that you need to know for the exam in order to be successful. So this exam's on chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12. If it's on here, it will be on the test. If it's not on here, you don't need to worry about it. So just make sure that you know all of these terms and concepts. I've mentioned this a couple of times now, but if it were me, I would probably write all of these terms out or type them all out and have it in front of me during the exam. That way I know that if there's something that comes up I'm not familiar with, I can reference it very easily. I would also really encourage you to study as you would for an in-person test. Make sure you know everything. If you're trying to look up every answer, I promise you will run out of time. So make sure that you do study and prepare. Also, a couple of other tips. As always, make sure that you do have 75 minutes to spare, that you have a quiet place to take the exam, that you have good internet connection, and that you're ready and organized before you begin. I would also really encourage you as we get into November, do not wait until Sunday night to take the quiz or take the exam. As the wind has kicked up a little bit, and we've seen last week, this can lead to power outages. We've had more fires because of the wind. And just with everything kind of being up in the air, make sure you always leave yourself plenty of wiggle room and time to take the test. And as always, if something comes up or you have an emergency, please make sure you reach out to me before the deadline if you want any consideration of an extension. You also have an extra credit opportunity. I will give you that in a little bit here. And then I will, of course, post this recording. Sorry again that we weren't able to do one last week, but with the power outage, it just was impossible to do. So I do have a couple of reminders for you. If you're looking ahead, let me post this here in the chat. Our next Twitch live stream will be on Wednesday, November 20th at 11:45 a.m. So that will be our live stream next week. Next week, we move into the last 2 weeks of the class. We'll be in week 7 and week 8. I'm going to mention this like 15,000 times, but please note that our class does end on a Friday night. It ends Friday night, December 6th. I know that's a little like different, but that was something that is set by the college. We also have kind of a little bit of like a gap in time, which I think is kind of interesting. So if you're looking at the calendar, our next 2 weeks will open here. And so we have a little bit longer in that last section. And I think that's because of Thanksgiving break. We do have a little bit of, days off in here because of Thanksgiving. So just be kind of mindful of that. Week 7 and 8 will go from the 18th to the 6th. So a little longer than normal. So really should be no reason that we missed that final exam, but I just want to make sure that you are aware that that is when the class will end. Okay, let me give you the other reminder I have, and I already typed this up, so I'll put this in the chat. Please take a moment to double check your subscription status. A lot of you have fallen off. Like Meg, I see your name here. You lost the little football cake next to your name. If you notice you don't have the football cake or you never subscribed, you can still do that. Especially if you're watching this as a recording, that is how you can still get the points by answering the question on Canvas. So let me give you that extra credit question, and this is for this week, which is week number 6. So I'll put this in the chat here. This is the week number 6 Twitch extra credit question. What are Piaget's 4 stages of cognitive development? Describe them and give me one element or feature of each stage. So what are Piaget's 4 stages of cognitive development that we go through? Describe and give me one element or feature of each stage. And when you're ready to answer that, you'll go back to Canvas. And since we're in week 6, you'll click on optional Twitch extra credit number 6 right here. And then up at the top, click on start assignment. And that will bring up the spot where you can type your response. And when you're ready, hit submit to get your confetti burst and flowers. All right, confetti burst and flowers. Should have been like a turkey or something. We're getting close to Thanksgiving, or a football would have been even better. But remember that you can do this for those 2 points of extra credit. Remember that everything from weeks 5 and 6 is due by this Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. and that we are kind of heading into that home stretch. So really be aware of kind of everything going on. It's a good time to start checking your grades and make sure that everything looks correct. Let me know if something isn't correct for whatever reason. And again, kind of short and sweet as we progress through the semester here and fall into that rhythm. I will hang out for a little bit if you do have any questions for me. Otherwise, you are welcome to go and get started on all of the materials from this week if you haven't already. Hang in there. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. And again, I will hang out for a few minutes if you do have any questions. Otherwise, I will hope to see you next week for our live stream. We have 2 live streams left to go before we are done with our class. So again, hang in there. I'm going to minimize my video so I'm not staring at myself. But have a wonderful week, a wonderful day, and I will hope to see you next week. Yeah, thank you all as well. Let me put that here in the chat. Thank you. And again, take care of yourselves. Hang in there, and I hope you all are doing well.